Hello, everyone. Sorry for the camera shake. Welcome back. Another week, another post. I'm hesitant to even call them vlogs, postings anymore because, first of all, I have to be a little bit quiet because I'm not telling the time of the day, but it's either early or really late. Late enough. I'm sorry, I just gave it away. Anyway, yeah, some of these, I don't know. I would feel like I'd have to, I'd be rubbing ears the wrong way if I kept calling this a vlog, and it started doing tremendously, which it already sort of feels like it kind of already is. But neither here nor there. This thing that I do on this channel. Welcome, like I said, welcome back. How are we doing? And I'm going to try and actually own the space despite the time because I already yelled. So let's see how I do there. But hope you had a mediocre to grand week. I had something in the middle. Not because of what I said I might do last week. I said I signed up for something. Not necessarily because of that. I should probably knock that out of the way. I showed up to this thing. I mean, I didn't attend or go, but let's move on. A lot of firsts this week for me. And if we are going to sort of attack from the vlog angle, that means I broiled, is that what you call it? My first steaks. I don't believe I've ever done that before. And they didn't kill me, so that's exciting. I got like a skin rash. I don't know how much I want to go down this list, but I got like a bit of a skin rash from, I think, drinking a little too much and then singing a little too loud. I mean, I wasn't having a great time. I mean, this is just karaoke pre-partying in my room, but as you may already know that I do. So that was weird. I also had this, I don't really want to say what time of day because it makes it more boring, but I woke up with my saliva glands or something started flooding my mouth, similar to that feeling you get, that taste you get in your mouth when you're about to puke. And I didn't know what was happening. Now that we know I woke up, I got out of bed and stood by the sink. But so there's the sink in real time right there. But that was odd. And then let's see. I mean, do you care if I saw, while doing work, if I saw a homeless girl's titties while out on the, I don't know, on the gig, right? So, but that was exciting. They looked really nice. I mean, they looked decent at first, and then milliseconds later, all was ruined when I realized they were attached to what do we call them? Bums? Do we still call them bums? Love it. Try canceling me, and then I move up the ranks. No, I'm kidding. That was a pretty stupid comment, maybe a little ignorant, to use the definition of the word that is the definition of the word, not the word that is being thrown out around the place, even though it's the same definition. What else? First time touching a leather basketball this week. That's exciting. I dribbled it, a couple dribbles. Maybe more on that, maybe not. What else? I weighed myself for the first time in 100 years. That's exciting. No further comment necessary as well. And I'm actually trying to remember all this stuff. Maybe give you a little secret on how I'm accessing all this from just, my brain, I guess. But the last thing is, let's see, myself. And started digging into doing some reading So that's fun. Nothing boring or tedious, really. I'm just looking at comic books, but some of the vocabulary in this thing. Maybe I should tell you Calvin and Hobbes. So yeah, I mean, if I started with reading, so just a lot of picking up things. I don't know if it was my nervousness or my insecurities for saying that I shall maybe attend something by the next time I'm on camera, and then I don't know. I suppose it depends on how much of this stuff happened before I showed up to that thing and saw that the line was too long. 50 feet maybe, and then as I approached closer, it actually had a little bit of a corner action going. So I saw the first half of the line, and that added an extra about 50 feet. So long line. I mean, people thick, 3 people thick or something. Long line. It was about 2 hours left per, and I anyway. So I don't know how much of that stuff happened before, after. A lot of it probably happened before, actually, because that would be explain my psychology there, right? So, just sort of a medium to exciting week. Just things happened for once. Kind of excited about that. Hopefully, things that are exciting, similar to the level of excitement that mine are, happen to you, perhaps. I wanted to get all of that out of. In fact, I was thinking maybe I just talk about this stuff because, when I showed up to this, what was it going to be? It was going to be a swim party. I know I haven't talked about it yet. And only to find out later, really, that they're going to be doing them every week now. So I found that out a couple nights ago or last night or something. But let's see. I'm looking for humor, guys. um, I had it on my the top of my brain that I knew if I was to show up to this thing, I was probably gonna have to talk about it. I mean, it's something different that I did outside of my regular doing things, which I don't even talk about those things, right? Because that would be every week. So just a little bit of a mind fuckery with how much I have to sort of, try and, I don't know how you say this, not be aware of my subconscious while attending or doing things. A little bit of a moving on. Did some other stuff like the regulars. I did the basics, so I think this is a great medium week for me, meaning it was a good old week. Getting enough sleep, all the stuff we talk about, which I would love to pass that energy to you guys. If there's only one reason to talk about it, and that is to, in somewhat of a competitive sense, uh, you know, bounce it off of you guys, see how you feel about it. It doesn't really have to ring or anything, but if my ass is, let's say I have a great, let's call it a show this time, here, then wouldn't it be awesome if, sorry, it's always distracting when I could hear people in nearby spaces. Um, wouldn't it reflect that I've been up in atoms and doing things. Even cleaning your room is exciting stuff to me. So, needless to say, but saying it anyway, really. Uh, what else? When I don't have much, I go to the news, and there's still these topics that I, like to touch up on or haven't spoken about. We should probably start with the one I've never really brought up, and I don't know how much of a topic it is. It only gets AI, the topic of artificial intelligence, only gets exciting to me when I find out that practically every kid in every school is using it. I mean, we're talking about, Google's chatbot or whatever, or mostly Chat GPT actually, and just how, I don't know how you say it. What is it? How profuse it's being used across the country, not to mention probably the world, right? I don't know. I mean, do I have anything to say about that? I probably should have prepared something. That's right. I didn't get back to talking about finishing doing all sorts of things. I just came back from preparing humor for people and trying to execute and whatnot. So maybe I should have put a little more attention into this, but let's see. So now that every kid is openly sharing that they're using ChatGPT, I mean, what do we do? What do we do? We have to reinvent the curriculum, don't we? I don't know. Guys, I can't think of anything. But I think it's kind of exciting nonetheless. I mean, if there's something to talk about when it comes to AI, I haven't seen that movie AI. I haven't seen any of these Black Mirror episodes, maybe besides one random one. It's about a dog with a gun on it or something. And I'm not up to date with all the, iRobot. None of these movies have I seen. So I'm really getting my toes wet here is all. But still arguing that it's only interesting at this point. I mean, I talked about it to one person at work once, and I suppose the conversation held weight of just other topics besides kids cheating, I mean. And it got fascinating. I suppose I could bring it up since it's the one time to possibly bring it up. The writer's strike. We passed the writer's strike. And it was like, I was wondering if there were, I do believe that, the richer people, check it out. No, that's not a brag because it's a fruit fly and they fly very slow. Excuse me. Oh, I'm trying to keep my thoughts together. So I do believe the wealthy corporate billionaires should pass more money down to people that are writing the shows. Sure, especially if there's a revolt, if there's a strike going, then, maybe it's worth considering. However, I can kind of see the opposite end of the argument, even if they haven't talked about it in the writer's room per inside podcast, real, I don't know, it's probably New York Times or something, real insider stuff. Apparently they haven't talked about, gotten to the talks yet, at the time anyway, about, well, they're not talking, are they? Maybe they are, yeah. Anyway, at the time, it hadn't been discussed that, anybody could just say, here's all the I Love Lucy episodes. For some reason, I remember talking about I Love Lucy recently. But anyway, on here. But anyway, sheesh, we got to get out of here. But a part of me goes, yeah, but isn't that the conversation that needed to be had? That's all I ever spoke about when it came to AI in my entire life. As long as we're talking about the chatbots, I mean, probably ever really. But so I squinted and I shared with this person who's paying me money. He's not a coworker. And I said, yeah, but I wonder if they're you're trying to read all the signs. You want them to all be funny or extremely dramatic or something, whatever writers do, right? I wasn't impressed overall. But I just said to him, I said, I wonder if they're evil. Like, what are you taking? Somebody built a chatbot, and it seems like you'd be like pulling a vacuum on the industry. I know they hadn't talked about it up until that point, but anyway, is that interesting? Or maybe if I can't fall back on funny, it would just keep it entertaining or interesting or somewhere up there or down there, whichever the direction is. Okay, I don't know, guys, but it is time to go. I was hoping to, have another great one, but really it just sounds like a bunch of entries in my diary this week. So to that extent, I apologize, but I always want to bring these things. I want to hammer these things down. I've actually been a little bit stressing over it because, I should be. And here we are. Maybe one final thought, maybe before I go off the cuff. Hmm, hmm, uh, all right. The other plan was to just fade these topics that I already talked about, just to fade them out, and then say bye that way. Just be like, oh, and I also did this or saw that, or. But fair enough. We're here now, aren't we? Okay. I only do 10 to 15 minutes longest, so it's time to go, guys. Keep it up. Keep at it. Uh, keep cranking it out. All right, I'll do the same myself. Thanks for the support, guys. You're really bringing life over to this side of the camera, and I appreciate it. And maybe next week, okay? Maybe we'll kick it. I'll kick it up a notch next week as well. All right, I don't know what to say. Love you, mwah, especially if you love me. Cheerios.